Southern California special right here. Eddie Cohen in the house, 2025 Super Billiards Expo. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, what's up?
How's the show going for you so far?
It's going good.
How many years does this make that you've been consistently attending this show?
The show, first year I came out was in 2013, so I've only missed one time since then.
That's amazing. So 2013, were you already presenting your own cues at that point? Okay, amazing. Can we take a look at what you've got available right now?
Yeah.
On the rack here. How many did you show up with this week?
11?
Must take you a long time getting those ready, right?
Yeah.
So what do you have here available?
Available, I got these two, and I'll pull that one. These are the three that are available here.
Man, those bridge points are amazing. Look at the colors in there. Is this a new ring work for you, Eddie?
Newer, yeah, less than about a year old.
What's the current wait time right now if somebody wants to custom order something from you?
So currently it got to near 5 years, so I stopped taking orders at the beginning of this year.
So needless to say, people are better off if they bump into you at the show, right?
Yeah, or through one of my dealers.
Absolutely. If you want to get a hold of an Eddie Cohen custom cue, I would highly suggest that you stop over at his booth. Eddie, can you tell us about this one on the end over here? This is a really ornate design.
Yeah, it's an 8-point cue. It's all lined in copper. Copper diamonds, copper spears, copper dots.
That one's sold, right?
Yeah.
In case anybody hasn't played with one of your cues before, can you, in your best words, describe the hit, the playability, the balance, that kind of stuff, and what you're using currently right now as an ivory substitute at the joint?
Yeah, so the hit would be, I'd consider it firm, not overly stiff. It's firm with a solid feedback. The joint material I use is called tomahawk. I also use it for the ferrules.
You like the way that hits a lot, huh?
Yeah, it gives it a nice crisp hit.
So it's kind of like a medium to firm hit then, maybe? Not too hard, not too soft?
I mean, compared to the traditional for the ferrules, to a traditional LBM material, it's a slightly softer, but it's not, it doesn't compromise the playability. That's why I still like it.
A lot of people that are new to the world of custom cues don't understand the in-depth process that you go through in order to be able to make these cues. What type of time frame does it usually take from when you begin on a cue in regard to turning the wood down and so on and so forth? And could you let us know kind of what you do preventatively to make the cue last long? In other words, you know, I've noticed that a lot of your cues that you started making, even the early cues, I've had them come in and they're dead straight. So what's one of the key attributes to that, and then what's the time frame in regard to turning the wood down?
Well, the general process is if I buy a new piece of wood, it usually sits in my shop for at least 6 months before I even start turning it.
Okay.
Even then, it'll get turned and it'll sit for a little longer.
Yeah.
You know, that's the key, is letting the woods age and settle.
How about the coring process? Do you use more maple or more purple heart, or what type of woods?
It depends on the form material. So generically, I use 2 cores. The laminated maple would be typically for Coca-Cola or ebony. Sometimes I use purple heart, and then I also use an ironwood for most of the maple cues.
The other thing I noticed, you may be one of the only people that I've ever interacted with in purchasing cues that seems to always get your shafts like laser perfect to the same weight. Is there a science behind that, or you just go through a lot of shafts? Like usually if they're 3.8, they're both 3.8. It's amazing.
Yeah. What I typically do is I cut the shafts to final size, and before I put any of the parts on, I match the weights.
Amazing. Well, you're excellent at what you do. Needless to say, you recently won a pretty prestigious award at a cue show. Was that in the Midwest, or?
Yeah, it was ICCS in Oklahoma City.
Are you going to be attending this year again then?
Yes, I plan to be there this year in Chattanooga in September.
Any sneak preview on what's going to be available at that show?
Not yet.
Okay, so guys, if you want to get a cue from Eddie Cohen, needless to say, you need to get over to his booth right now. We are at the Super Billiards Expo, and he's got some stuff available ready to go. Eddie, thank you so much for your time. He's got some merch over here as well. Eddie Cohen Custom Cues, Southern California special, baby. Finest in the world. Look at that. Must be the cue. Can we see the inside? Cohen Cues. There you go.